some discoveries, doing something helpful for people. We try to always find application that might help people, not just for publication or for getting research grants. Now we are designing this insole for early diagnosis of autism. We think if we can put this kind of insole for medical checkup places before this condition goes to very final or last level of autism, so we can discover it in early stage and maybe help kids from morning till evening, and even at night. Sometimes I think about it, I think how we're gonna do it, how we should put it, how we should use this kind of stuff, materials. I'm one of the persons who is in love with science.
Is it possible to generate energy from a simple human step and use it for diagnosing diseases? The entire universe is filled with energy, and scientists around the world continue to explore new ways to use it. A team in Kazakhstan, led by researcher Gulnur Kalimuldina, has developed sensors that capture movement, analyze it, and generate valuable medical data. This data helps detect not only flat feet but also early signs of autism. The uniqueness of this technology lies in the fact that it does not require external power sources and uses artificial intelligence to analyze the collected data, opening up new possibilities in medical diagnostics.
Our laboratory, it's called Micro Nano Engineering Lab. We develop innovative technology. It's called AI sensing, artificial intelligence sensing. How we came to this idea? So 5 years ago, I had thought of creating this kind of system that works on self-powered ability, because I was an expert in batteries, and I thought, why won't I create this system that actually powers itself the battery? So you can wear it, you can connect it to some kind of wearable devices, smartwatches, some kind of medical devices, and through walking, mechanical energy, kinetic energy converted to electrical energy would be in the end charging battery, and accordingly any device that you can connect. So this idea sounded very crazy in the beginning. It sounded very futuristic, and I started searching for the part which I'm not expert, creating this kind of mechanical movement and converting to electrical power. Through studying many mechanisms at that time, so I just graduated from Japan with PhD. I came back to Kazakhstan, and I started researching my new direction. This time. So I came to this technology, which is called piezoelectric or triboelectric materials. So I thought, why won't I start from piezoelectric energy harvesters? Piezoelectric materials means they can generate electricity when we deform them. So we can bend them, we can press on them. So this kind of materials, because of mechanical deformations, they create some kind of molecular level dipoles, which transfers to the electricity.
In 2020, Gulnur Kalimuldina received 2 research grants from the government of Kazakhstan and the university where she works. These funds enabled her team to purchase the necessary equipment for experiments. However, shortly after, the pandemic began and the team had to work from home, focusing on theoretical studies of the materials. Once the lockdown ended, they returned to the lab and began testing. After 5 years of research, scientists have achieved impressive results. Their materials can generate up to 900 volts of electricity in 8 hours. This is enough to charge small devices, such as wristwatches. One successful example of applying this technology is powering pacemakers using a piece of material that converts mechanical energy into electricity.
2 years ago, with my collaborator, Dr. Azamat Ishmuhametov, we came to the idea to test these materials, not for energy harvesting, but for sensing. As a sensors, mechanical sensors. And in the beginning, we were like, oh, let's try, maybe it works, it doesn't work. But today we see that actually we can go to commercialization with this kind of technology. So first thing we did, it's a robotic gripper. The second one, we tried different materials for different sensing. The one I wanted to discuss is the smart insole. Yeah, this is a work of our students when they were undergraduate students. They created this kind of insole. Yeah, the first thing we wanted to test is if this kind of material, just like simple material, very flexible, yeah, with 3 parts here, 3 sensing parts, can detect flatfoot. Yeah, flatfoot, actually, we talked to orthopedics, we talked to School of Medicine. They say that all the diseases, illnesses start from the foot. So if you have some deformations, especially people with flatfoot degrees of 2nd, 3rd degree, they suffer a lot. They cannot walk, they cannot stand for a long time. So we thought, why won't we try it as a first trial to test if we can identify flatfoot and even the degree of flatfoot, yeah? So our students, they prepared this insole. They tested it with 100 students. We collected data, and with the help of Dr. Iltai Rahmanov from School of Medicine, we correlated all this data from his medical professional opinion, and we actually in the process of publishing this paper. Very good paper.
The team tested the installation of the sensor on different devices using various attachment methods. Embedding it into surfaces, whether in an insole or a robotic arm, turned out to be one of the most challenging tasks. Each experiment provided new data, helping to find the optimal solution for reliable sensor performance in the system.
To integrate the sensors, it was almost near to impossible. This is very difficult. You have a plastic material and you have to embed it kind of like a sensor on the top of it. So sticking this is a kind of sensor on the surface, and this part is very difficult because after the working, after some of iteration time, so it will be very difficult that they keep it to work, and the lifespan of the sensor was so decreased, isn't it? So what we did it in this project, so we decided to implement, this is tank sensor, this is a flexible as well, and molded everything together. Right now, whole of the sensor, this is a grasping area, is a sensor by itself. This is a 2-in-1. It's a gripper and a sensor by itself. One is a very nice feature of it. So it can discriminate grasping object. For example, if we are grasping like a spherical object or a cube, or we are grasping kind of like a just type of the material, metal, plastic, or glass, all of the materials in case of like a grasping. So this sensor, it can discriminate each of them separately and with 98% of accuracy. Another thing, implementing of AI to the sensors. Of course, this is a new branch, but you have to understand, before when we started, like when you touch this one, it was generating a signal. But what signal, isn't it? So you have to process it. You have to do kind of analyze and do some processing, isn't it? So to do some kind of like a stuff is very difficult. That's why, so our real novelty in this field, we have two things, isn't it? We have signal processing and the implemented AI. So this is our main beneficial features designing of this technology.
The insole, developed by the team, uses machine learning to detect flatfoot in just 3 to 5 minutes. This cutting-edge technology not only outperforms current diagnostic methods, but can also identify other issues like valgus deformity, a common problem of children. Recent research suggests it could be used for early diabetes detection. The team is continuously refining the insole, adding piezoelectric elements for more detailed pressure analysis. They're also creating software that provides real-time pressure distribution, making the diagnostics even more accurate and insightful.
First of all, we started from data collection. When people walked with this insole, we collected data and then we applied machine learning algorithm to identify whether people have flatfoot or no. So as you can see in my application, it works like this. Whenever you press one of those 3 regions, you can see the pressure distribution of it and the gait analysis. And after some data was collected, there is a decision whether the person has or don't have a flat foot. For example, here you can see user has flat foot. Yes, here you can see also gait analysis of it.
Usually at the early stage of autism disorder, autism spectrum disorder diseases, children are identified for this disorder maybe at 4 or 5 years old. It's quite late actually for the treatment, for rehabilitations. So the diagnosis should happen early, yeah, for the kids. And this can help to do that because usually autism spectrum children, they have like toe walking. So they walk on toe part of their feet, which we can identify and see even the maybe correlation with in comparison with normal kid data and data coming with some kind of disorder. And after rehabilitation, taking some kind of treatments, massages, if there improvement, we again can show with this kind of insoles.
We are collaborating for now and partnering with the Public Association, Federation of Sports for the people with the, as far as I remember, intellectual disabilities. So we can do those insoles especially to the targeted audience to make their performance much better. And for now we are working with the trainer and trying to develop and creating a new design. So this design would be more beneficial for them to increase their speed, to make their performance in case of the running processes and training processes better.
I always wanted to be a surgeon when I was a kid, yeah, but this path took me to become a scientist. From childhood, I remember I was reading this kind of books about physics, the books about nature, what is happening. I remember I was reading about how actually the rain is happening or how the clouds usually form in the sky. Yeah? So these kind of things were always interesting to me. From childhood, I think I was a bookworm. So I was reading many books like fantasy, like any kind of scientific related stuff, yeah, all these things. And I never thought I would become a scientist actually. When I was at school, I never thought I will become a scientist, I will pursue this direction. But gradually, like life kind of opportunities maybe lead me to this path, yeah. So when I graduated from my master's degree from University of Manchester, I was back and maybe even I thought I would work in industry, but I took a position at Nazarbayev University. I was a teaching assistant, so I was just helping professors to teach that time, yeah, after graduating from my master's degree. And during this time I was also participating in some kind of research works, and during the teaching process, interacting with students, I think I understood that I want to pursue this direction to be in academia.
In Gulnur's family, engineering is a tradition. Her father is an engineer and her mother also studied the field. But as a child, Gulnur dreamed of following in the footsteps of her great uncle, a distinguished surgeon. Life, however, led her to science, and in the early days of her career, she set ambitious goals, getting published in leading journals and building a strong network of connections with scientists around the world. Over time, her priorities evolved. Now, Gulnur's focus is less on recognition and more on creating innovations that can truly improve people's lives.
We try to always find like application that might help people, yeah, not just for publication or for getting research grants. We always, with my research group, target like how we can help, how we can apply this in, because we do like mostly engineering materials part. But we always consider during our group meetings how we create some kind of application device, yeah, out of this. So it's always challenging. We have many ideas. We sometimes write like pages of ideas that we want to do. So I don't think we get bored, especially in our group. We always have many things to do, which is a great thing about science. So you have kind of your long-term goal and you have like small goals that will help you reach that direction. I'm a mom of 2 kids, 2 boys, and one is 6 years old, and second one is 2 years old. And balancing this huge load of work and being a mom of small kids requires, I think, how you say, time management, very good time management, And for example, I try to divide my working hours. I have to do everything during my working hours. It's very hard. You have to focus always 100% on your work. During the evening, I try to spend more time with my family. So for women, balancing is very difficult because you have plus ahead of that all this housework, cooking, cleaning, so no one is taking it away from you. And basically you carry all this stuff. And thankfully, I have my second half, my husband, who always supports and helps me in all these aspects.
Gulnur actively collaborates with scientists both in Kazakhstan and abroad. The team works closely with private companies and centers specializing in the diagnosis of autism spectrum disorders. In the future, Gulnur plans to expand her research and apply these innovations in sports and rehabilitation.
I don't think I have my greatest achievements yet. I actually consider myself at the beginning of my career. But of course, since many years, I have this goal of publishing in Nature journal. This is a top journal in the field of any field. So Nature, I'm growing, progressing. And I think if the scientist thinks he has a lot of achievements now, he's not growing anywhere. I think what many people, they don't understand science, especially the people who give us money, they don't understand what is science. Because, for example, my study started from like molecular nanomaterial level. So I was trying to understand how this kind of electrons jumping from one material to another. So it's kind of nano-sized level. And when we came to the actual device part, they don't understand that we went through like long journey to understand how it works and how we can implement them. Because even when we right now have some kind of devices, usually many people consider that it should be already like a market device, but it was done in the lab. It was done in the lab by students, by like researchers, if we want to achieve like a final product, anything that can be implemented for good use, we should have bigger money. And second of all, when we get the grants from the government, they always give us for 3 years. For example, I wrote top journal paper in 2.5 years. Can you imagine what we can do in 3 years? There is not much we can do, And if you want to focus for just papers, just for publishing, whatever journal it goes, of course you can do it in 3 years, like every year you can publish. But if you target top journal as a top researcher in the world, you have to spend at least 3-4 years for the whole development of it, And maybe we need some people from science in government, especially in the part where they actually build this kind of documentation, all these kind of programs for scientists. There should be some scientists who can build it, and understand. And it's not the scientist who was doing it long time ago, but maybe who was working on it right now, who is active and who is recognized in the global community.
Diagnostic insoles and other similar devices developed by Kazakhstani scientists do not require power sources, which makes them unique. These innovations are bringing us closer to a future where electricity is generated in new ways. Gulnur Kalimuldina is a face of Kazakhstani science. She and her team believe that AI sensing systems could soon become an integral part of everyday life. These technologies will not only simplify diagnostics and treatment, but also transform the approach to healthcare, making it more accessible and efficient.